Hey everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. I hope you had a wonderful set of holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot holiday, all behind us. Hopefully everything that you gain from that you'll carry through into the upcoming year. Wish you a sweet, wonderful year as well. In this week's Parsha, it's the first of all the weekly portions, Braishis, in the beginning, and this week's Torah portion is packed with so many important Judaic principles on how to live and how to understand and whom we are as people and what creation meant, what God expects from us, what we should be expecting from ourselves, who we are, what our soul is. I want to talk to you about the soul and the body. I know we've touched on this a little bit before, but it needs a little bit more contemplation on our part. And as everybody knows, man was created from the ground. Afar, Adama. Afar means dust, fine dust, and Adama comes from the word earth, and that's what man was made out of. And Hashem breathed into a living clay-like form, which Adam was before God brought him to life by breathing into his nostrils the breath of life. That breath of life that God breathed into him was what's called the soul. In Hebrew, it's called neshama. Neshama comes from the word neshima, which is a breath. And as we've mentioned before, that the Zohar writes that one who breathes of himself, and therefore if God breathed into man, God was blowing of himself in the same way that God has being, is a life force in and of himself. So too was man. The same way God has intellect, so too man had that intellect. And one thing that we have to study about ourselves is, as much as we are soul, what we have to wonder is, if we are soul, and Hashem made us soul, so we have to ask ourselves, why is it that God gave us so many bodily functions? These bodily functions kind of hamper who we can be as soul. For example, we have to sleep, we have to eat, we have to go to work, we have to shower, we have to go use the restroom. Now, how much time are we wasting by taking care of all these bodily functions? Why should I have to go to the bathroom to begin with? Going to the bathroom, nothing else to do but just waste time to go to the bathroom? Why did God make it necessary that I should have to go to the bathroom? Or that I should have to eat? Why am I eating 3 times a day or twice a day, depending on how you are? Why didn't Hashem just make it that we should eat once a month? Once a month, the body stores enough energy to last a whole month. What am I eating for? Constantly eating. The body constantly needs to replenish its energy. And if we're supposed to go out there and function and do so many wonderful things, why do we always have to stop to eat, to stop to sleep, stop to go to the bathroom? I mean, can you imagine if you saw a video of yourself sleeping? You'd be very uncomfortable. You know why? Because you're just watching yourself do nothing. Besides the fact that it might be a little embarrassing in case you snore or this or that, but just the fact that you'd be doing nothing, within 2 minutes you would hit the fast forward button of this 8-hour stint of you sleeping. And you have to like, what am I doing with my life? I'm just sleeping. I'm doing nothing. And it's the exact opposite of what the soul stands for. The soul it means life, creating, doing, giving, making a difference. And sleeping, you make no difference. And by eating, you're not really making a difference. And you have to go to work and you shower. We stink. We intrinsically stink, which is something else that we have to study about the body. Every single hole in the body smells. And whether it's our nose, whether it's our ears, they're always full of some type of waste that we have to get rid of. And we're cleaning that. Why is all this? All this is very, very important, and it brings us back to what the human being is called. The human being is called Adam, Adama. And Hashem wants us to learn 2 things. First of all, don't get too full of yourself. Don't think you're so angel-like and so awesome. If it weren't for food, you'd be dead. If it wasn't for the fact that if you couldn't sleep, a person would probably also pass away, or their life would be in shambles. There's many things that Hashem made our bodily functions do in order that we should recognize our limitations. And the second part is that we have to call out to Hashem. We need food. And therefore, when it rains, we thank Hashem. And every time we eat, it's important for us to eat. Why is it important for us to eat? It's that we thank Hashem for food. If we only ate once a month, we talk to Hashem once a month. If we didn't need so much rain, we would barely talk to God at all. We'd barely pray. People who need a lot of money, people who need rain, are people who need food. And people who need food need rain. And if we didn't need that much rain, we wouldn't come out to Hashem. So part of our life is to recognize that Hashem wants us to obviously learn these lessons. Don't get too full of yourself. Remember, you are dust and dirt. And don't forget who is providing you with all the blessings that you do have in your life. At the same time, after all that, you have to create a unity between your dust, yourself, your chumrius, what we call in Hebrew, your physical, mortal self, the body that houses your soul. But don't forget who's actually living inside your body, and that's your soul, and that's your real you. So yeah, they have to work in tandem. That's because a person's soul is so great, but at the same time, it's so great that a person might get too full of himself, and might get thick-headed and think, I'm awesome. And Hashem says, no. He is awesome. He's the only awesome one. So therefore, that's a lesson we have to keep in mind all the time. We will be humble to Hashem and always come on to Hashem. Thank you for listening. Have a good Shabbos.